if there's a space.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't, and you're just in the pit lane watching, and you're like, fuck sake, man.
Yeah, let's hope everyone does.
Or you go pick a car
I
and it
think.
crashes.
Alright guys, so welcome along to the Bahrain Grand Prix here at our first race we're streaming for L2S Esports League. So hopefully a pretty good session. Some of these guys we've seen racing on my channel here before. So should be an interesting race since we have 19 drivers in the session, beginning a short qualifying session right now. And we're using the multiplayer cars. Quite interesting for the league here. So as the guys get out, they're going to be just warming the tires up just a little bit on their opening lap here, as we call it, the out lap, and we're going to see what kind of times are going to start to be posted here pretty shortly, as some of these guys are extremely fast. So a few new drivers, well, for me a few new names actually will be on our leaderboard here, so hopefully we do pronounce them correctly as we get into the session. If we don't, apologies guys. And thanks to the guys on the league for just waiting a few minutes so that I could get started and get a stream started for them. Did get a bit late home today, but anyway, still on and going. Just setting up a few minor things on stream so we stay stable. Hopefully no disconnections today. So we're going to see some pretty interesting liveries on these cars today here. I've had something similar to what official BZM has here, B2M. I think that's B2. That's a lot of green. I do like green. Angry orange with some white and I would say maybe purple to pink. Pretty interesting car. Pickled beard, very dark livery, pretty interesting as well with that green on it. Up again. I think we'll get back on pretty fast here today, so should be good. And there we go, we're back on. Alright guys, so we have Angry Orange at 126.3, official B2M with a 126.5, Jake with a 127.2, Duncan is out of the session, Oh, some more times being posted. Let's get our stats back on screen. Laurentio, if that's correct, 127.6. Sam with a 128. Shipper with a 130. ENMC just began his hot lap. Let's see what kind of time he's going to be posting. Just about 13.5 minutes left to go, as we have some drivers, I think they're getting disconnected or they're just leaving the session. I'm not sure as yet. Or just additional people in the lobby, I guess. Just gonna follow ENMC around the track and see what kind of time he's making, as he does a purple sector 1. So he's on for a pretty good lap so far. Let's see if he can do a purple sector 2 here as well. So we still have at least half of the grid yet to make a lap time in. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what kind of time is going to be put in here, because let's see who we have left. We have Daddy Pig, ENMC, Infamous, Pickled Beard, Sid Kid, Joe, Deacon Slayer, and how do I pronounce that? Mosh? I'm going to say Mosh for now. Forgive me if I have the name wrong. Alright, so ENMC with a 128.2, Shipper goes down with a 130 to 10, so that's top 10 so far. So we're waiting for the remaining guys on grid. So make some time in. They're all basically in the pits except for Pickled Beard and Slayer, who are currently out on track trying to make a time in. ENMC just making a better sector 1 time. Wonder if he can pull off another better sector 2 and go for a way faster lap. And he might be going for a second lap on this here. Let's have a look on board with him as he goes through turn 10 and heads to turn 11 now. Onboard views are pretty fast on these cars. Still waiting for some more of these guys to get out on track and make some time in there. Probably waiting for the track to be just broken into just a little bit by the other drivers here, because we have now just about 10.5 minutes that is left in the session for qualifying, and then we're getting straight into a 50% race. Did not really improve on that time there, I think. So far Angry Orange holding out on front in P1 with a 126.3, official B2M holding with a 126.5 in P2, DJW a 127.1. Jake goes down P4 at a 127.2. Laurentier goes 127.6 now in 5th. Chappie with a 127.8 on his outlap right now. He has a he's in 6th right now with that. Maggot in 7th with a 127.9. Sam with a 128. ENMC holds at his 128 still. Now those two 128s are pretty close between Sam and ENMC. Just a few thousandths of a second separates them. So that goes to show how fast all of these guys really are, because the time just spanning from 126 coming down to a 130, and I think that can be a better time. I think that's Chappie on his outlap going by there. Let's see what Slayer is doing in his car. Dunkin' Donuts seems to be getting disconnected a lot. He is out of the session either way, but hopefully he gets back on stable enough. Alright, so let's see. We still have a lot of these guys yet to come out. We got Marsh now out on his outlap going. Picklebeard on his outlap as well. Let's have a look at Picklebeard's car. Oh yeah, we did have a look at his car before. So the guys out front in the top 10 are still going back out to try and make a faster time if they can. They want to get the best out of this qualifying session as they can right now, using up as most tires as they will. Just trying to get the best start possible. I mean, Bahrain is a pretty fast-paced track. You don't want to be stuck starting at the back, especially going down into turn 1 with a bunch of cars in front of you. You're definitely going to suffer some wing damage if you're not careful. So these guys are just trying their best to post as fast of a time as they can before we do get down to the end of the qualifying session and have to go on to the race. I think Joe as well is on a lap going, as we're going to first follow them around to have a look at what kind of time they're going to bring in. So let's see where Joe, and he goes P10 with a 129.8. We got Mosh coming around in sector 2 right now. Let's see what kind of time he's going to bring into for his qualifying lap. So still Daddy Pig, Infamous, Pickled Beard, Sid Kid, Marsh, Dekunha, and Slayer yet to post any time. Dunkins is not going to get to post the time since he is already out of the session. Not sure if he has any quali ban in place here, but or he has crashed out of the race. But either way, he's going to have to be starting down at the back in 19th. And Laurentier goes fastest with a 126.1, edging out Orange by 2/10. So that's a pretty fast lap. Actually, by almost 3/10, we have to say. So Angry Orange now down to P2. Or for sure B2M goes down P3 and pushes everyone else down the grid. Mosh goes 128.5 and goes up to P10. Slayer still on an outlap. Deacon, Sitkit, Pickled Beard, and Infamous and Daddy Pig yet to make a time. As we're gonna follow Slayer around on his outlap. I think we have, but Pickled Beard just made a time of a 126.4 into P3, so pretty good job on him for doing that. Let's see when the bottom cars are gonna get out here and make some times, except for Slayer, he's already out in the outlap. Quite a few cars still in the pits. I'm not sure if they're waiting for the final second left to just go and make one time and make a very fast one, hopefully, for them. But let's see what kind of time they're going to be bringing in when we do get to that point. If they are going to try and make a time, I'm not sure as yet. Alright, so Slayer is currently on his hot lap. We have Deacon and Daddy Pig on their out lap right now. So we're about to see some times being posted from them. Hopefully they don't invalidate and not get a chance to make a time, because we only have 4 minutes left in the session right now for qualifying here. And it is a short qualifying, so we're not going to have to, go into Q2 and Q3 and all of that. Just one qualifying session, 80 minutes, that's it. We get into the race and start with the grid as it is. So no time from Slayer as yet. Sorry, being a bit distracted there, guys. So let's have a look at. Oh, and Daddy Big has invalidated his lap. Gonna have to go back into the pits, try and come back and get another shot at it if he has enough time to do so. He just might, but he's gonna have to hurry it up. Infamous Sid Kid still not coming out to make a time as yet, as we're gonna follow Decona around. I know some of the guys at the top I've been trying to make other times there as well. As Chappie is now up in the 7 there. Jake is out of the session. That's a purple sector 2 from Decona. Alright, so Decona goes up to 9th with a 127.3, and everyone else is currently coming out on their outlap now, trying to make a time finally, as we're gonna see if they can do that. Pretty interesting red and white from Sid Kid here. So liking the liveries on the cars very much, guys, since it's the first time I'm seeing it anyway. It's been pretty interesting to see, so it's going to be an interesting race to watch as well. So I think this is going to be, if I'm correct, someone do correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is round 2 for L2S Esports League. I think they've done Australia already. This is Bahrain, and then we'll get on to the next one next week. So let's see how good of a race we're going to have here today, and how much battles we're going to have to follow on track. I expect we're going to have a pretty good race today. Fastest time is at 126.015. Laurentio already 126.1. Magat goes 126.2. P3. Pickle Beer holding 4th. Official B2M holding 5th. DJW holding 6th. ENMC is 7th. Chappie holding on to 8 right now. Decona is still in 9th. Jake is currently in 10th with his 127.2. He's out of the session though. So if anyone can do a better time, they're going to get way up there. Let's see if Sitkid can get a better time in, as he has already started his lap. That was someone getting off the track, probably getting out of the way. So let's see what kind of time Sid Kid is gonna put in, as well as Infamous and Slayer, as they're already on their hot lap. Daddy Pig as well. Or should I just call him GNR? You guys really do find some strange PSN names, I'll tell you. So end of qualifying, Sid Kid goes up to 12th. Infamous did make a time. I think that's everyone who's running. Oh, and he invalidated. JNR invalidated that lap, so he's now going to get a lap time in, starting down at the back there. I don't think anyone else is left running, so that's going to be it. So that is it for qualifying, guys. We'll be moving straight on into the race session in just about a few minutes. Okay, so that is qualifying results. So here's a start how the race is gonna start. We're gonna have Angry Orange in P1, Slayer goes P2, Official P2, goes P3, Laurentier goes P4, Maggot P5, Picklebeard P6, DJW P7, ENMC P8, Chappie goes 9, Decon 10, Jake 11, Marsh goes 12, Sidkid goes 13, 14 is going to be Sam, Joe in 15, Shipper 16, Duncan is 17, INR is 18, Infamous is 19, down at the bottom. No time from Duncan, JNR, or Infamous SMG. So now we get straight into the race. I think we should have a formation lap on. Not sure if I'm mistaken about that, but let's see. As we do get into the session, we'll know when we get there. So let's see if we can actually see any VSCs or safety cars in this race. I'm not sure what you guys are predicting for it, but we have 19 cars in it. So let's see how well turns 1 is going to turn 1 and turn 10 and a few other turns, maybe 11. So it's going to go if anyone go for you know, some risky overtake moves, some dive bombs, and let's see what else going to happen. So it should be a good one. Alright, and we're getting straight to the start of this race. Let's see who get a better start. If Angry Orange does get a little bit faster start, but Official BZM gets past Slayer. Slayer getting way back in the race there. I'm not sure what's happening to him. Had a pretty bad start. Getting braced on the inside, going through turn 1. As we go along, don't worry about the predicted race strategies. You know, people doing a 1-stop or a 2-stop in this race. Basically how it goes. Some people will be doing a 3-stop if they need to. I remember, guys, the stats on the screen are going to be a little bit different than what they actually are for just at least the first 2 to 3 laps. So don't rely on that. Someone going a little bit wide there. It's going to be a little more difficult to tell who's in what car because we're using a multiplayer car. But I will get used to these guys as I do continue streaming for them. So that's going to be interesting to see. ENMC making up a place there. Oh, and Chappie's coming back at him. Let's see if Chappie can get it done going into turn 11 here. Might not be able to as ENMC holds inside. Chappie going in outside though, getting a bit off track. And let's see what's going to happen going down the straight. Now that's not a curb you want to touch. Oh, and loses the position to DJW because of that move. So DJW gets past. That was in the 6. Oh, and we have some incidents happening down at the back between Marsh and someone. Marsh probably spun around a little bit there. Angry Orange with the fastest lap so far. Dikuna has Sting Kitty just a race beside him. And Sam in front going on the outside of that. Let's see who makes it through well. Tries to come back on the inside, doesn't get it done. Has to hold back right there. It's a 3-way battle going on around 10th here. As Infamous tries a move on Sidkid, doesn't get it done as yet though. Just looking on behind, trying to find a gap to go on here. As we do have someone leaving the pits right now. Let's see how this goes into turn 10 between Deacon and Infamous here. Oh, so Deacon chooses to take the outside instead of the inside. Didn't have much of room on the inside either there, but losing some time to Infamous. Still is going though. Gap out front is actually pretty close. And Pickled Beer and someone just switching positions here. Oh, going a little bit wide. Joe gets back that position from Pickled Beard. Oh, and someone is going off. And that was JNR. That's Zaddy Pig. He's out of the... Oh, and that was horrible. Pickled Beard out of the race. That was a nasty accident. So 2 drivers out of the race all in 1 lap here. So we have a safety car. That is a number of incidents happening. We have a lot of pit stops happening out front right now, except for the top 2. Sitkid and Infamous are not pitting. They're going by. Everyone else is pitting, coming down to 14 there. So that safety car triggered some very fast pit stops. That's quite a busy pit lane right now. I'm not sure if anyone is going to get held up with that one and lose some positions there, but they're going to continue going, as we are going to still be another safety car going around for another 2 laps maybe here, until that incident is cleared on track between Picklebeard and also GNR's car. Both of them having some incidents. I see some penalties are starting to be handed out here as well. So just on lap 3 right now, and we already have our first safety car. I'm not sure if we're going to be having any more continuing into this race, but let's see how this is going to change things up just a little bit in terms of race strategy for a lot of these guys. Because we saw how much pit stops that safety car actually triggered, and yeah, because that changes the strategy a lot. Because I think some of the guys might have been trying to do a 1-stop or a 2-stop. Maybe they're probably going to have to do a 3-stop now, if because of what they just did there. But I think that it's going to be really interesting to see how strategy works out in terms of everyone who pitted. And Sitkid and Infamous out front did not pit. Let's see what kind of tires they're running on here though. And that's how positions change. The guys out front gained from P1 to P4. That's Sitkid, Infamous, Joe, and Shipper gained a lot of positions. Infamous especially, he gained 17 positions coming all the way down from the back, and is now out front there running. And stops, you can see who took a pit stop and who didn't. Laurent here down in 9 did not make a pit stop, which is why he's there right now. Guys out front didn't stop as well. Jake going all the way up to P1. And let's see. Tires are not that old because they did start on their medium, so that's why they're running there. Pretty interesting strategy also from Angry Orange and Maggot there, running on hards now. Champy as well switched to hards on that pit stop rotation that we had there just a second ago. So that's going to be quite interesting to see, because Sitkid, Infamous, and Joe, and Shipper and Jake, their tires are only 3 laps older than the guys who pitted. So how well is the strategy going to work for them in terms of staying out in front of this race? Because they're really going to have a lot of pace going. They're just going to maybe coming down to when it comes close to their pit stop, they're going to probably start to lose some grip. Everyone currently weaving on track right now just to keep those tires warm so we can get back racing. They're not going to have any problems in terms of finding grip to try and go for an overtake move, which everyone is going to be trying to do going into the first few corners, as we do get back racing very shortly here. Laurentier, I think, oh yeah, he did not pit because he's still on softs. We're 3 laps old. Sam pitted. He's on fresh softs as well. And Mosh is on 1 lap old softs. I think this is going to be quite an interesting race. I think that safety car just changed the entire aspect of the race, and in terms of everyone's pit stop strategy and race strategy that they have going. So I'm not sure what everyone is thinking right now. But definitely some of these guys are not going to be happy about the pit stop. Some of these guys, well, I think Sitkid, Infamous, Joe, Shipper, and Jake, they should be probably be happy because they got out front because of that safety car and because they didn't pit. Of course, everyone is right behind them, so they're going to have to find some significant amount of pace to keep themselves out in front and just fight amongst themselves and just try to build a gap as much as they can, which we're going to see how well that happens as we come down to the end of lap 4 here pretty soon. And we have not yet seen anything that says we're going back racing as yet. Safety car is way out front, so we might be going back racing here. I didn't see I didn't notice if the thing came down at the bottom, but it does seem like we're about to go back racing. Our safety car is going in. We are going back racing, so let's see who's going to get a better go here. Got some cars taking the outside. It's Jake. Jake got a better go at Shipper there. Going around turn 1, everything seems fine so far. No incidents. A few positions changing on track as we do go along. Oh, and there is I think that's Laurentia into a wall there. That was probably his green car there, I'm not sure. It seemed very much like that was it. Got a three-way battle going on between, I think it's Jake. Yeah, well, official B2M, Jake, and oh, all of these guys are pretty close together. Actually, going around turn 10, coming around in a line. As we're gonna follow these guys around now. Oh, and we have Sam going for a move on Shipper, getting it done. Let's see if he can hold it coming around turn 11. Does get it done, keeps the line. Pretty good move on him so far. DJW also pretty close. Oh, someone else getting. Dekona gets a move done on Chappie there. I think he does hold that one as well. As I don't think Chappie is getting that one back. Chappie just gained the position of ENMC. I think the two of them are battling right now. Going down the pit straight into turn 1. Oh, I think those two cars might have touched. That's ENMC and Chappie there probably. We might have some damage. Oh, and that's Duncan and Chappie fighting it now for P13. I saw Sam just gain the position of Jake there. I think Jake is trying to come back at him. Of course, he has DJW behind him for company there as well. Oh, and DJW gets around pretty well on that one. He's trying to get around Sam, but not finding a gap as yet. Takes the inside. Sam did go just a little bit wide on that one. Gap out front is pretty close between SidKid and Infamous. Let's see how this is going down into turn 1, because somebody might be out braking, doing some outbraking going into here. SidKid trying to block him up just a little bit. Let's see if he can take the inside and avoid damage. Tried to avoid damage, had to let it go. Holds P2 for now. SidKid still holds on to P1. Pretty good car placement off of SidKid there, trying to block that off. Ooh, and Sam moves up a position off of DJW. DJW is still pretty close behind. He might be trying to get that position back. We're not sure as yet. So far, we have lost Slayer as well from here. So we've lost Slayer, Picklebeard, and JNR. Not sure how we lost Slayer as yet. I didn't see that happen, so it's too bad to see him go. Gap out front getting pretty close again between SidKid and Infamous. Let's see who's gonna come out on top of this one as we do come along to another very long straight and then go on to the pit straight. I think DRS is definitely we're gonna happen. He's gonna have it here. So, and he has a little bit of overtake to use. SidKid has a lot more overtake though, so let's see how this goes. Oh, and these cars are getting pretty close together. A lot of heat coming off the back of SidKid's car right now, so that's gonna affect the performance on Infamous just a little bit as he is slipstreaming him down going into turn 1. And let's see who comes out on top here. He's probably gonna put aside if he has enough room to do it. Doesn't get to do it, has to hold on to P2 for now, going around. Official B2M trying to catch up to these guys. He's about 3.2 seconds behind as we have some positions changing here between Joe and Sam. Joe getting in front. Deacon I think just gained a position there as well. Oh, and there goes Sam taking the inside. Seems to be holding it for now. Of course, DJW is coming behind. A lot of cars are actually coming behind them right now. So some extremely close gaps. Oh, and that is someone into the wall. I think that was DJW into. Oh no! Oh no! That was someone else into the wall there. So a little mishap happening there. That was a car into the wall. I'm still yet to figure out who that was. I think that was Joe. That might have been him, yeah. He might have some damage. As we do see him coming down here. Going back out front between SidKid and Infamous. So Infamous has gotten past SidKid here. I think yeah, he has. Because it was SidKid out in front of him, Infamous. How is this gap looking? Because SidKid is about to go for it here again. Has a lot of straight line speed, definitely going to get it done. But say Infamous is holding on to the inside. Let's see if they're going to switch positions and go for it here. They do, but not enough pace off of SidKid to get past him. Does have DRS going. Infamous just moving around on the track. Maybe a little bit too much there, but he, let's see, he does leave room. They are going side by side, however, here though. And SidKid gets it back. Holds back to P1. Infamous has a setback for P2 now. So a pretty close battle going on for pole position of this race so far here. Let's see, I'm not sure what you guys are going to be bidding on here, if it's going to be SidKid or Infamous, but depends on how their strategy is going to work out here as well. Instead of fighting each other, they might have to just try and keep themselves in front. And let's see, you think we have SidKid going? No, SidKid got past. He's trying to get back his P1. Let's see who's going to get it done. Does have a lot more pace actually than Infamous. Infamous is just trying to keep up with him and trying to block him, keeping him behind, but it's not working out too well as he would like. The gap between Infamous and B2M is now dropping because the two of them are fighting out in front for a pole position. So the guy up in P3 is now catching them at a significant pace. Already lost a second to him. And we're going down the straight. It's going to be wheel-to-wheel battle going down into turn 1 once again. Let's see who's going to take inside, who's going to be blocked off, and anyone's going to get any room. Infamous takes it. SidKid tries to go on the inside, does get it done. So Infamous placing his car pretty well on track right now, blocking, but well, not exactly blocking, but just some good car placement. So SidKid is not getting move done properly. SidKid is trying very hard, going a little bit wide off track there, but still holding it. And that's official B2M with a 3-second penalty for, you know, multiple warning. He's trying to severely to try to catch up to these guys. The gap is now 1.7 seconds between SidKid, who is in second, and B2M, who is running in third. So he's going to be catching up on the battle for pole out in front here pretty soon if he can keep this up. Also, Angry Orange, who is just half a second behind B2M, so he might be able to get on into that fight as well out front. Gap is still half a second and less between Infamous and SidKid. So they're fighting it out for P1. Official B2M and Angry Orange are going to be fighting it out for P3 right now. And then I guess the battle continues on for pole position here. This is all going to depend if Angry Orange has a lot more pace than B2M. Doesn't seem like he's going to get close enough to get a move done on this occasion. Using DRS, not using his overtake though. Oh, and going on the inside, but has to hold back just a little bit. Not enough room for him to go on it. We do have DJW behind Sam here. Half a second that gap is. He's trying to break it down as much as he can going. Just not close enough on this occasion to just about that double battle going on almost everyone on this track right now. A lot of the gaps are under a second. And gap between Infamous and SidKid is now over 1 second as Infamous is trying to build that gap as fast as he can to try and prevent SidKid from catching him. He needs to hold on to that pole position, especially if he has any penalties. He's going to want to build a gap and just try to keep pole position throughout the entire race. He still has to pit us there, so does SidKid. So it's going to be interesting to see who's going to go into the pit first. And Angry Orange just gained the position off of B2M probably oh, and interestingly, oh, B2M got it back again, so they're going to be finding it out now. And B2M is running on mediums while Angry Orange is running on hards, both 7 laps old, so the fastest tire goes on to B2M here. Let's see if he can keep it ahead of Angry Orange, who is running on a slower tire but does seem to have a lot more pace. We have a dive bomb going on. 3-second penalty for Angry Orange on that one. Was that really worth it? Oh, and B2M goes into the pit. So was that really worth it for that move there? And he did not get to get it done. So that might have been a little bit of a sacrifice there. Gap is 2.1 seconds between SidKid and Angry Orange, and under a second again between Infamous and SidKid. So we're gonna have some pit stops start to happen here. Interestingly enough, we're not seeing a pit stop between Infamous and SidKid as yet to see that happen. So everyone's still running pretty decently close together. We got Maggot, who's about just under a second behind DJW here. Well, let's see if we can actually catch him. Chappie just gained a position off Jake there. Let's see how close that gap is down at the back here. Oh, pretty interesting livery from Jake here. A splash of colors, if you call it. Oh, and pit stops. Infamous and SidKid both are in the pits right now. SidKid coming back out in 8th so far. Infamous just in front of him, so they're not switch any positions back as yet. So Infamous still leading the race. SidKid running in 2nd. They're about to get out of the pits, and they come out back in 7th and 8th. They were running P1, P2, so they're not going to have to stop again. They're on lap 13 right now. They're going to go to the end on those hard tires, and they got Infamous and SidKid in behind of them. That's the only way they're actually going to get back pole position or top 3 here. If they can do that, I'm not as sure as yet. We're going to just have a look in just a moment though, as we're getting back online any second now. Okay guys, so we're back online. Let's see what's happening between Infamous and SidKid running a little bit down in the field now as we're waiting for the guys in front of them to see who's going to take another pit stop and who's not. Of course, whoever is running on medium is probably going to have to stop again. But some of these guys running on hards, it depends on how old those tires are, and let's have a look at that right now as we go on back to Angry Orange, who is now leading the race. So tires are 10 laps old. There is still about another 10 laps to go in this one. No, about 15 laps more to go. So I don't know if those hards are going to make it all the way to the end. There is a possibility of that happening. Depends on how you run them. But those mediums are definitely not making it. So D Kuna is going to have to pit again. And DJW will have to pit again. I am anticipating that Angry Orange and the rest of the guys running on those hards out front, they were going to have to probably do another pit stop. Maybe going on to softs, go down to the end. Or they're going to probably go on to mediums, I'm not sure as yet. But if they did choose to go on hards, and let's see how many pit stops they did do already. They've all done 1 stop. ENMC has done 2 stops so far, running all the way out front. So that's interesting to see him there. But let's see how the rest of the session goes. That's down at the back between Marsh and Jake does seem to have a close gap. That is infamous with the fastest lap of 131.2 on hards. Sorry, mediums. So that was hard. So Sam just took it with mediums and a 130.5. So some pretty significant times being posted off of these guys. And let's go back out front between Maggot and DJW. Half a second that gap is getting so much closer now. Let's see if there's gonna be some action happening between these two for P2 and then heading down for P1 here. Some decently close gaps between Jake and Marsh there still, as that gap still is getting closer as we follow along here. Most of our other gaps are just a few seconds between each of these cars, but the two close gaps we have would be DJW Maggots, and there's one between, that's kind of increasing at 1.3 seconds is that gap, so that's going up. Going back out in front with Maggots here, trying to catch DJW for P2, 0.4 of a second, 0.3. Let's see if we can get it done coming down into turn 1 here. As we follow on board with him, he uses some slipstream. Doesn't have any overtake, takes it on the inside. Let's see if he can get it done. And they're trying, DJW is trying to switch it back, but doesn't get it done. He's gonna have to hold on to P3 now. ENMC coming behind him in P4. Likuna is in the pits. Angry Orange running 1.6 seconds ahead of Maggots there in second. Maggots is now gonna be trying to catch Angry Orange, and let's see if he can get that done, but he does have to worry about DJW behind him, and might have to worry about ENMC pretty soon running in fourth currently, because if that gap starts to come down of 4.8 seconds, then he has some trouble out there in second to try and hold on to it. And Jake is out of the session. Not sure what has happened to Jake. I don't see his car on track, so we'll probably not get to see that. We do have a yellow flag in sector 3, I think that was. It looks like that has been cleared though. This is Bahrain. It's a Bahrain Grand Prix. Okay, so far we have Jake, Shipper, Slayer, Pickled Beard, and JNR out of the session. So Angry Orange and Maggot, their tires are now 13 laps old. They're hard, so they have a lot more life in them to go as yet, as we still have just about 11 to 12 laps more to go here. About 12 laps more, I'll say. Just over 12 laps. So let's see what's going to be changing here pretty soon. DJW running just under half a second, about half a second behind Maggots here. He's still trying to catch him for P2. Gap has increased a bit between ENMC and DJW though. So ENMC is not catching up, he is losing time, and he's gonna have to worry about Infamous and SidKid behind him. Infamous doing a pretty good job trying to keep SidKid behind. He's about 3 seconds behind him right now. So if he can keep that going, he's gonna be like gap, and that's gonna be good for on his side. Of course, not good for SidKid, who is running behind in 6th now. And he just got another 3-second penalty there. So these penalties are really gonna play themselves out as we come down to the end of this race. The time really does seem to go by so quickly when we're doing these league races. We're already on lap 17, or at least on my end. I don't know for these drivers how it is. Sometimes when you're driving in these races, the time just doesn't seem to go, especially when you're holding a good position. You really want the race to just end so you can finish there and get some really good points. So DJW getting DRS now off of Maggots. Trying to catch him going down the straight. Not close enough to get anything done here right now. Dikuna goes past someone here. Oh, and we have Duncan has spun. He spun it around. And he's losing positions. Chappie goes past him. He's now down into 11th. Not in the points right now. trying to get back on track. He might have some damage to that car, we're not sure. Doesn't look like he has any damage, so he's good to go. Just wanted to get back on track safely there. Oh, we have Sam going for it, running behind Sid Kid. Not sure if he's going to be able to get this done. Sid Kid is on hards. Oh, Sam is on fresher tires and they're mediums. Oh, trying to dive bomb me on the inside. Oh, and they do touch. Lost a bit of time. Try to avoid damage there. Sid Kid takes back P6. Sam keeps P7 for now. I think he was about to try for the inside on turn 10. Didn't get it done though. Not enough room. Has to just hold it for now. Sam will continue to chase Sid Kid around this track. So Sid Kid has some problems of his own. Instead of worrying about catching up to Infamous now, he has to try and hold off Sam behind of him. There's also official B2M coming behind. Oh, and ENMC seems to move up because we have Angry Orange and DJW into the pits, and let's see where they're gonna come out. Who does that move up? It moves up Maggots and ENMC up. Maggots is now leading the race. ENMC running in second. Infamous is now up to third. He was running out front in fourth before, but he had to pit. Sid Kid is now down. What's happening to Sid Kid? I think he has a problem. Does seem like he went into it with someone. Probably had an incident with Sam, who was chasing him down. He is now down into 8, so strategy was not going well for him as he had a little mishap there. And we get back up to Sam here. Just have to look if he has any damage. Not sure if these guys had any contact on that. Doesn't seem to have any damage. Is continuing to go on the track. He's running fourth. Infamous is going in P3 right now. Running a pretty good race. So he's just going to hope that, you know what, that Maggot and ENMC is going to have to pit at some point before we get to the end of the race. So we still have 10 more laps to go. So he's just praying and hoping they pit. And he just goes back straight into P1. And he's going to hold it out until the end of the race there. Sam running 6-lap-old mediums. I think those are set to go to the end there as well, so that's a pretty good strategy on him. So he can probably get P2 if he works this out pretty well, or if he can catch up to Infamous in the next 10 laps and get past him. Official B2M running in P5, run 6-lap-old hearts. He definitely is going to the end. I think everyone else going down the line with the exception of Marsh. I'm not sure if Marsh can push those tires all the way to the end. There are 13 laps sold already, so another 10 laps to go. He might have to make another pit stop. It's gonna cost him a little bit though. Might lose one position or so. I think just one position might lose, if that is it, because he's about 18 seconds ahead of Chappie. Joe is currently in the pits. So 5 drivers that is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers out of this race. There was 19 drivers started. So gap out in front, Maggot running P1. Ian has a gap of 6.2 seconds between himself and Maggots right now to catch up. He really has to try and break that down. His tires are 1 lap fresher than Maggot, and he's gonna have to try and find some pace from somewhere to pull this off, or else he's gonna have to settle for second and still try to keep Infamous behind him. Of course, penalties is another thing they do have to worry about. So Infamous running in P3 has official P2M behind him at 3.9 seconds. Not a gap that's not that hard to break actually, but it does depend on how much pace you have and how much pace the car in front of you has, if you can actually catch him or not. Now we have Sam here, who's about half a second behind official P2. I'm trying to catch him and go for, and we have Angry Orange goes for a move, gets it done, holds it going on to the pit straight here. Now up into P5. Infamous is moving up because ENMC is in the pits, can't hold it out much longer, and he does move down. ENMC now up into P2, 11 seconds behind Maggot. If Maggot pits, Infamous will be leading this race, and official P2M goes into P2. Angry Orange will slot into P3 if that does happen, and the rest of the grid does follows. So Sikit is now currently running up into P7. He would have been right there behind Infamous if he had been able to keep that position. Just didn't seem to have the pace to do it, and was fighting cars behind of him for positions there as well. So, you know, does happen that way sometimes, that the strategy just doesn't work, because you do have to battle a lot of cars or positions here. Okay, so we're going to lap 22 of this race now. Maga still leading, Infamous in P2, Angry Orange in P3. And let's see, DJW seems to gain a position because Sam is now in the pits. Sid Kid now up running P6. So still getting a significant amount of points. Deacon just gained a position as well off of Sam going into the pits there. He's now coming out. I think it's going to be a 9th or 10th. I think he's going to be 9th due to that time that I'm seeing there. He's probably going to be there. ENMC seems to be gaining a position off of Sid Kid right now. Definitely did, as ENMC goes up to P6. Sid Kid comes down to P7 now. Gap between official B2M and Angry Orange is pretty close. Following these, oh, and Angry Orange goes wide, leaving a gap open for official B2M to catch up here. Let's see if he can actually get this done. Has DRS going down, he's going to have to get him on the pit straight. If he can, he's going to have to try and get as close as possible to Angry Orange, just to try and get some slipstream into this, just to try and get a really good overtake done. Doesn't have a lot of ERS to use. It's what's going to be a little bit of a disadvantage here, but let's see. Oh, and Angry Orange goes wide again, making silly mistakes, and doesn't have a lot of ERS to use either. Let's see what's going to happen coming down to the pit straight here now between these two. Official B2M is probably loving this right now. Angry Orange just making all of these mistakes, leaving the gap open for him. Let's see how the rundown into turn 1 is gonna go, and if he outbreaks him, he probably gonna get it down on the inside. Not sure if he has enough time. Doesn't have it. You're gonna have to hold it into P4 for now. If Angry Orange makes another mistake, this is pretty close. B2M is gonna get it. Quite sure that's gonna happen. He doesn't have a lot of overtake to use. He's trying to use as much DRS as he can. So this is going to be a battle going on to the end of the race for P3 here. Final podium position. Always a battle going on for it in most of the races with the L2S. As we're going to keep following these guys around to see how this is going to go. Angry Orange pretty close to Infamous here as well. So that's, oh, and let's see, he does get a better go. Not going wide this time. So Infamous being chased by Angry Orange being chased by B2M. Three-way battle for P2 right now. Let's see how this is gonna go down. As Chappie moves out of position, Duncan is in the pits. Gap is a bit closer between official B2M and Angry Orange. Alright, so this is pretty close, 0.2 second of a gap. Let's see if he can get it done going into turn 1. Might try to outbreak him, not doing it, trying to keep it safe actually here, going up 24. As he sees Angry Orange out in front, trying to battle it with Infamous right now for P2. So he's probably hoping these guys take each other out and he can just slip into P2 quite easily. Okay, so all three of them are so close together. That's Infamous, Angry Orange, and Official B2M. Let's see who's going to make it out on top. There might be some moves trying to happen here. Sector 2 and 3, we do have a yellow flag. Someone is off track. I think that was DJW, I'm not sure. He does seem to be going again, doesn't lose any positions off of that. And we have a safety car. Someone has caused a safety car to happen. Not sure what happened on track as yet. We do have a safety car. Now this is going to change things up coming down to the end of the race. Oh, Infamous goes a little bit wide. So these guys are going to be able to catch up to Maggots, who is running out front. He was 10 seconds plus out in front of Infamous. Now everyone is going to be bunched up going down to the end of this race. Going maybe 2 to 3 laps we're going to have left to finish after the safety car goes in again. And these three are just going to try and keep as close as they can throughout the entire safety car queue here. Already have some pit stops happening down at the back. All 3 cars decide to pit under the safety car. Didn't see that one happening. Even Maggots has pit. Oh, and serving as a penalty. That's not going to be good. Oh, ENMC goes out front. So this is going to be much more interesting now. So DJW takes over the lead of the race. Maggots is in second. He did make a pit stop but got out back in time to at least get second. So he still has a chance of getting back his pole position after this race here, if he can get past DJW in the last few closing laps. And ENMC moves up to P3. Infamous now in P4. Angry Orange now in P5. Sam takes P6. Official B2M now goes down to P7. Had to serve a penalty. Sid Kid running 8. Deacon running 9. Chappie running 10. Duncan running 11. Marsh running 12. Laurentier running 13. And Joe running 14th. Jake, Shipper, Slayer, Picklebeard, and JNR out of the race. Just final 4 laps left, and then that's going to be it for the Bahrain Grand Prix here for L2S League. So once again, guys, second safety car. So basically all the guys have to just do here is drive behind the safety car. No one can overtake. And just try to keep your tires up to temperature before we get back to racing. So you know you don't lose any grip or traction as you try to go for overtakes. And this is going to be a pretty interesting restart as we are coming down to the end of the race under a safety car. We'll not be finishing under a safety car, but we'll have at least 3 laps left to race, I think. Because I assume safety car should be going in by lap 26. If the track is already cleared, it might be going in on this lap. We'll have a look at that in a second. We'll know. It doesn't say anything about safety car going in as yet. Alright, so it seems we're going one more lap under safety car, so these guys are gonna get a little bit itchy trying to get back to racing here. Safety car does seem to drive really slow at times, so it's not always easy driving on our safety car regulation. Alright guys, I think we should be coming to the end of the safety car by the end of this lap. So we're still in sector 2 going, so by the time the guys get around to start coming to the end of sector 3, we'll see the safety car go off into the distance and everyone will be bunching up, trying to get back restarted. It does seem that Laurentier and Joe are still trying to catch up to the safety car queue as they have not as yet. Alright guys, so we should be getting back to racing at the end of this lap. Let's see what's gonna happen here. Hopefully that safety car is going in. Doesn't seem like it is. I guess we're going another lap under the safety car. This is getting annoying now. Trust me, as a driver and as a person watching, you don't want to see safety car going around. We want to see racing, so well, definitely the safety car is going to be going in this lap. Usually it stays out for about 3 laps. Is what the usual time is for a safety car to be out after an incident like that happening. Whatever that incident was. I'm not even sure what the incident was that happened. Because Jake was already out of the session, so who caused the safety car? I'm not sure as yet. Or if the safety car is just out for a fun lap. Maybe the safety car driver got bored. Because we're on lap 27 under safety car, so which means when we go back to racing we'll be into lap 28 and then going to lap 29, so it's just going to be 2 laps of racing left after the safety car goes in. So that's going to be 2 pretty intense laps as these guys are going to fight it out and try to get as much positions as they can. I think guys who are running out in front might have been rethinking that pit stop that they made. Personally, I would have chosen to stay out in front, just try hold up pole position, because I know the safety car will be out for 2 to 3 laps, and I won't have a lot of time left, and the guys behind me, they're going to have very limited time to try and get past me. But of course, then the gap is really close, which is why everyone did decide to go and do that pit stop. Alright guys, so just about 2 laps left of racing to go, as we're still in sector 2 going around. Everyone's ERS will be built up, and there's going to be no DRS coming down to the end of this race, because we're not going to have time for that. So everyone is just going to have to rely on straight line speed, however best you can turn your car around these turns. Safety car in this lap from race control, thank you. And yeah, on their ERS to use for their overtake. That's going to be it for everyone, so there's going to be a little bit of an even playing field going now. No one's going to have more ERS than anyone else, everyone's going to have 100%. Provided they weren't using it under the safety car. As we do have the safety car going into the distance, and Joe gets a 5-second penalty for severe collision with Chappie there. Alright, we're about to go back racing here guys, so let's see how this is going to go as the top 4 are already fighting it. And going down in a straight line as Maggots comes out to the side, trying to get removed down on the inside. Let's see who gets it. He does get it done. Let's see if he can hold it, because ENMC is coming behind him as well. And Maggots gets back P1. Good job on him for getting that done. ENMC is going alongside DJW right now. I'm not sure if he's... Oh, and he's going on the inside. He might be able to get this done. Holding P2. Let's see. DJW comes back at him. Gets back P2. ENMC has to hold on to P3 right now. Oh, and that is some... I think that wasn't Infamous. That was someone else. Probably Angry Orange or Sam getting... I think that was Angry... Oh, and that's a lot of collision happening there right now. Someone else losing a bunch of their front wing. So as I said guys, there are going to be some serious battles going on. Someone going a little bit wide there as we are on the final 2 laps of this race. Deacon with a 3-second penalty there. That's going to really play itself out coming down to the end of the race. That's some wheel-to-wheel action between Official and I think Infamous. The Infamous holding it in P5 right now, trying to get a move done. Official B2M trying to fight it for P4. Duncan getting a move off of Chappie. Angry Orange getting a move off Chappie right now. Someone going into the pits has severe damage there. I think that was ENMC, was it? Might have been. Yes, it was. And he was running pretty good out front. Sick back up to P4 right now running, so pretty good job on him for getting up there again. Maggot still holding on to P1, DJW running in P2, still Official, B2M running P3. Penalties are going to play themselves out because these guys are all pretty close together from P1 going down to P14, well P13 that is. Joe is a bit back, over a lap back I think. As Didikun gets a move down off of Infamous there, who is now up and down into P3. As Infamous might be trying for a move on the outside, not getting it done. Should have tried the inside, but didn't have enough room to go for it. Letting me know DRS has to use all the overtake he has, trying to get the corner going now to turn 11. Not sure if he's going to be able to get this done here. It's a pretty tricky overtaking position. You have Laurenti pretty close to Duncan here as well, as he's trying for a move. Going on the outside, let's see if he can get it done. He might be holding it going around, and it does seem like he holds that going through there. So good job on him for getting that done. DJW pretty close to official B2M, but coming down to the end of it, Maga 6 P1. Oh, and DJW takes P2 because of penalties. Official P2M goes P3, Infamous goes P4, Sick goes P5, D-Kuna goes P6, Duncan goes P7, Angry Orange P8, Laurentier P9, Marsh goes P10, Sam goes P11, Chappie 12, ENMC 13 was running out front way well. I think that's Joe down at 14th. And that is the end of the Bahrain Grand Prix here for the L2S Esports League. Driver of the day, Infamous. Good job on him. Congratulations to Infamous for that well-deserved driving. So what an exciting race we streamed for these guys here. So pretty good job on everyone for the way they drove. Few incidents on track, but it does always happen. 2 safety cars. I'll just have a look at the table before we do get off stream. And that is it. Maggot 6 P1. Congratulations to him. DJW takes P2. No penalties. Good job on driving for him. P2M takes P3. Infamous takes P4. Sitka P5. D-Kuna takes P6. Duncan P7. Angry Orange P8. Laurentier P9. Mosh takes 10th. Sam goes 11. Chappie 12. ENMC 13. And Joe goes 14. Jake didn't finish here. He was in 15. Shipper 16. Slayer 17. And Pickled Beard. And then JNR in 19. That is it for this session here, guys. Thank you for joining us. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, as we'll have a lot more racing coming on pretty soon. I hope you enjoyed that one.